There. Okay, here we go. So those who are pulling this up on YouTube, we've already been doing this for a while. Just understand that. So we've gotten the muscles starting to move. Okay, so we're stepping forward. We're going to step back in just a moment here. And we're getting a shoulder, a delicate shoulder, a warm up. Because when you see my elbows go back, what starts that action? It's not my elbow, it's my shoulder blades, right? So whenever I come up here, if I start going too fast, see, number one, I bring my toes in. And what am I wanting you to do? I'm wanting you to open your toes out. So this is a warm up for your feet, as well as the rest of your leg, the rest of your, all the way up to the top of your head, okay? Now we're going to add one more thing to this shoulder blade action. We're going to start turning our head. But here's what you can't do. When you turn your head, you can't tilt your head. So there's whole studies on head tilters. Very interesting. People that head tilt when they do this kind of a motion, or just through their day, they do all kinds of studies on neck pain, upper back pain, with head tilters. Okay, see how you see my elbows going back, right? So again, shoulder blade starts that, shoulder blade releases that. Then I turn, but I don't tilt. And I'm just going at a nice, gentle pace. My hands are open. Okay, pull, turn that head, say rib cage up. And here's my last question. In this little segment that we're doing to warm up all these joints, especially the head, neck, shoulders, is, are you breathing? That's number one. I know Kathy is because she's counting. And she's like, do you know how many of these you've done? Oh, just about. Keep your knee from locking. So when you're stepping up, open those toes. You're turning your head. Don't tilt your head. Open your hands, close your hands. Open your hands, close your hands. Open your hands, close your hands. Breath, breath, breath. And start thinking about that diaphragm. This is a perfect movement, a repetitive movement. Once you've got a handle on it, your feet, your toes are open. You're opening and closing your hands. You're pulling your shoulders back through the shoulder blades. And I might add my shoulders are down. Okay, that's kind of like a given, but maybe I shouldn't make it so. Because sometimes we do this and we do the in and out okay, but we're creeping up with our shoulders like that. Okay, so it's this simple movement, taking real care with what is going on with our joint action, especially when it involves this kind of hinging motion from our shoulder blades and the stepping motion, a very functional motion, and opening with our toes. Don't lock your knee. Don't lock your knee. We've got like one or two more. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. And as you breathe, that diaphragm needs to be going out and in right here. Breathe in, push your belly out, and then you push it out and it goes in. Okay, so you breathe in, this expands, and then punch it in, and you exhale. Okay, take a breath. Okay, both feet up on the pillow right here. Okay, so I want you to just kind of pad this just a little bit. Okay, see that? I'm going to open those toes out. Okay, and we get all kinds of issues with our toes, right? From neuropathy to hook toes to hammer toes to all kinds of issues. So you just have to continue to manage this issue. All right. So now as you're doing this, what I want you to notice is something. You're looking up and you're doing this. I call it padding. So I'm just patting the pillow. Okay. If you don't glance down, you're going to find that you're probably going to drift. You're going to drift front or back or to the side. So what I'm trying to do is get you to think about where you are on your pillow, okay? So that tendency to drift, a lot of times when somebody's doing certain movements through the day, not even an exercise, that drifting, and some of the drifting happens because we get a little bit dizzy, okay? A little bit disoriented sometimes, okay? And you drift and you don't realize you're drifting, okay? So so you might say, well, how do I know if I don't look? So you can look, but I want you to practice this. I want you to practice dropping your chin, your rib cage is up, tummies are in, right? Shoulders are down. You're on this little pad. We're doing this little exercise where we're walking in place. I call it padding, like that, because I'm coming into a whole foot. I want you to drop your chin, and I want you to dart with your eyes without sticking your neck out here, okay? It's going to be hard for you to do that, but I want you to practice that, okay, as much as you possibly can. So see, I'm doing the padding. So when I do padding, it's very different than walking. I'm bringing my whole foot up, my whole foot down, keeping my knees soft. And if I drift, my tendency is to drift forward. Most people will drift forward. So if you get going too far forward, well, you're going to find yourself when you put your foot down and you're a little too far, and you're going to go like this. See, because you're getting off balance. Which, what's the first thing you do when you get off balance? What's the very first thing you should do? Lower your center of gravity, right? Drop your chin, dart your eyes, and look down there. You got it? Yeah, so bring your hands up here. We're still doing this. Now we're going to step off of here, but we're going to step off with our heel first, okay? So I'm going to shift. I'm going to go heel. I'm going to bring it back up, okay? Now, if you have delicate knees, hamstrings, etc., try not to avoid this move. Do it with an assist. See, I have a chair here to assist. You can put it up to the little bit of the front or to the side, however. So it's there if I need it. So I'm going to shift, and I'm going to bring my heel down. See? Then I'm going to come back up. See that? So my arms are here, my hands are back, and they're going to kind of hang out here because we're going to kind of go from here to here. But the shoulders are down, and as I take and step down, I stay close to my body with my elbow. So I'm moving from my elbow joint down and back as I step up. Now, all of that stuff that I told you about drifting is going to come into play here. So I'm going to lower my center of gravity, and I'm going to put that heel down first and then come up. Now, I can tell you, even though this is my knee replacement side, the hip replacement side, when I go to step down, I want to do some little weird compensatory move like drifting like this and shifting and leaning too much. So don't do that. Use a chair if you need to, and only do one hand at a time. Lower your center of gravity. How do you do that? You drop your shoulders, You hip hinge a tiny bit. You bend your knees. And then you go and put that heel down as if you were going to go ahead and step fully down, but then you don't. You rotate back and you bring it back up. Okay? We're going to do that on one side about 4 to 6 times. Then we're going to go to the other side. So this stepping down is, I don't know if you've heard the term eccentric. It's where you're lengthening your muscles in order to move, going downstairs. That's what we're doing. So here's my hands. Okay, get your hands right here. And I'm having you do this kind of a motion because this is really involving shoulders in a gentle way to keep moving, but then not overworking. So you see how I'm sinking? I'm going to put the heel down and come back. And my tendency, because this is my kind of weak side, because this is my hip replace side, my tendency is to lean. And if you have that going on, you're using the stronger muscles and you're avoiding those weaker muscles, okay? So tight tummy, everything drops. We're lowering our center of gravity, right? The hands are here, okay? See, you might think your hands are here. A lot of you have your hands here. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is bring your elbows down more toward your body and then get the backs of those hands going back. And put your foot down and come back, okay? So you're going to press into that whole foot and you're going to put that heel down and then you're going to pull back. So it's that down and then it's that up. So see, this kind of a gentle action is really working some very important structures, not only in your foot, not only in your lower leg, but in your hip and in your back and in your hamstrings, okay? It's a very important move, and it's one that we like to avoid, especially if we have a little compromise with injury or we're generally weaker back in the hamstring anyway, okay? And come back up, okay? Take a breath, drop your shoulders, tight tummy, yeah? Yeah. So I see lots of good workout slugs out there. It was so nice to see some of my slugs come out from under your rocks. And we saw the light of day. Drop your shoulders. See how I'm coming down now with the other leg? Yeah. Keep your elbows in. Yeah. So I know some of you are thinking, do you know how long we've held our shoulders here? And I'm like, yes, you should be feeling it right now. Keep your shoulders down. Make sure you've got your hand in line with your elbow. See? Now I've switched again. Open your whole foot. Step. Come back. I'm going to step and come back. I'm going to do 2 more on this side. Try not to lean. 1 more. Take a breath. Breath. Okay, now switch. Drop your shoulders. Realign. Yeah. Step. Pull back. Take a breath. Woo. Come back. Elbows are in. The backs of my hands are pulling back. So they're in line with my elbow, which is right at the side of my body, right here. See, I don't want you doing this, because if you're doing this, by virtue of that, you're giving into that rounded shoulder issue that we're trying to fight against. Okay, 1 more. Yeah. And come back. Bring those hands down. Go like this and go like this. Yeah. Our little pendulum swing. See? Press, press. So our tummy's in. Yeah. Supporting our back. We're not slinging. We're turning gently. We're looking, turning gently, looking, turning gently, looking. Now, if that gets you dizzy, then just keep looking forward. I would encourage you to once in a while, not every time, turn your head. Look the opposite way. Look the opposite way. Maybe not every time. You can look forward if you're getting dizzy, but practice. When you're swinging your arms like this, go ahead and turn and look and look. And you're doing diaphragmatic breathing right now, correct? Did I catch you? Diaphragmatic breathing, yes. These are little moves. Boy, are they powerful to help pain relief. Okay? Keep your shoulders down. Couple more. Tight tummy. Breath. Breath. See, I'm looking each turn. You don't have to. You can look straight forward for some of them. And then turn. Get your bearings. And then turn. Breath. 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 Two more. Here we go. Here we go. And here we go. So each time I do that, I do this, just this little pulse with the quads, with my hip, okay? And my feet the whole time are splayed out. Yes. So now we're on our pillow. I have my chair here. So we're going to really use this to facilitate back extensor muscles all the way from the shoulder to the thoracic spine, to the lumbar spine, all the way down. Okie dokie. Here we go. So I'm right here. I'm going to act like I'm going to just rest on the back of my chair. Now, I have a higher chair here, so I don't know what you have. If you have like a folding chair or, you know, you can't go down that far, of course. But I want to lean over almost, not quite, so that you're in a parallel position to the ground. So this would be totally a parallel position. So I'm going to be up just a little. So I'm right here. See my hands? They're right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this elbow. See that? Keep your chin tucked. You're on your pad with your bare feet, right? Push back into your hips just a little. Because when you release your hand right here, see that? And then you reach out, come in and come down. See that? So keep your chin tucked. You're bent at the hips. Your tummies are tight. You lift your whole shoulder up, and then you reach back. See that? You come back in and you come down. Okay? This is doing the same thing as we were doing here, only because you're bent into this position, you're going to be really working through this part of your musculature, but because you're holding yourself in this position, see? Reach, bring it in. You are rotating up with all those back shoulder muscles. You're reaching out, you're coming in, and you're coming down. So you're actually lifting, then you're reaching out, you're coming in, and then you're folding your little wings in. See that? It's this folding. That's the important move here. Okie dokie. Now, you may out there say, "Ah, this is doing nothing." Don't believe that. Anybody that has a significant issue with their shoulder, this is a big deal. So see how I'm like this? Now, if I wanted to make this harder, what would I do? I would push my chair out here like this, and I would be freewheeling, not holding onto the chair. See that? So my wings are in. I would go one at a time, out and down. And I'd be looking at my feet. Bring that wing up, back and down. So where does this move start from? So here, I want you to really focus here, because many of you are in this position, whether you use a chair or whether you don't. And you know what? You see my hand going up, and that's where you start with your hand. I want you to start by pulling your shoulder in and then get it into place. Then take that hand out, see? So tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. All straight down on your feet. Open those toes. So I'm going to take my little wing up. And the wing goes up how? By putting my hand up? No. My wing goes up by pulling my shoulder blade into my back. Then I'm reaching out, I'm coming in, and I'm bringing the wing in. So in essence, I'm doing this, see? But I'm in a different position. I could have you lay down flat and do this all very nicely, see? But I'm choosing to use this kind of a positional move. From here we go. Shoulder blade comes in, it reaches. It comes in, it comes down. Take a breath. Open your toes. Bring the other arm up. Now, if you just put your hand up and you didn't think about your shoulder blade coming in to move, start over again. Position, shoulders down, okay? Now, pull your shoulder blade in, see, and then move it out. See that? So that starts working these back muscles. Not only your extensors that go up your spine, but in your shoulder, but it's doing it gently because I'm not even in a full down position, see? And then when you do them together, it's even more of a, that's why I'm doing one at a time. So if you're good to go, you keep those shoulders down, then go right ahead and pull your shoulder blades in. Do one at a time, and then do a couple together. So both of those are very, 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 very beneficial, okay? Keeping my chin tucked. Reach, reach, in, down, down. So I'm going to come up, then I'm going to come up, squeezing my shoulder blades. I'm going to go out with a hand, out with a hand, bring the hand in, go down and go down, okay? Now, notice, here we go, shoulder blade up, shoulder blade, in, then out. Notice, where are you feeling pressure in your feet? And then down, down, okay? Two more, are you ready? Chin is tucked. We're gonna come up, shoulder blade comes in first, shoulder blade, then reach, then come in, then come in, then come down, and then come down. One more, last one. Okay, pressure right into the feet, knees bent, push the butt back, shoulders down. Here we go. Breath, shoulder blade, contraction, pull that shoulder blade in, out, back in, come down, come down. Put your hands right here on your quads and push and come up. Yeah, great. Okay, so we're waking up, starting at the shoulders and the neck and going down. So here's my next one. So here I am, standing on my little pad, right? So what am I going to do? I am not going to squeeze my butt on this, okay? You can experiment. When you squeeze your butt, you get your hips do weird kind of external rotations, okay? So I don't want any pressure there, so don't squeeze on this one. Put your hands here, and you push your hips forward with no tightness in the rear end. This is important. Those of you out there with hip issues, back issues, pay attention to this one. So this is the position that I would totally, if I came and visited you and I knew you had back issues, I would say, well, let me come right when you're waking up in the morning. And you would say, are you crazy? And I would say, yes. Anyway, what I'm trying to get you to understand is if I'm laying down here in bed, see, and I just roll over and I'm tummy down in bed, and I have pillows all here forcing me into being able to just be in this position. Some of you have tightened your butt. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't tighten up. Nope. Okay, take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Yes. Drop your chin. Yes. Hyperextend your back. And I would tell you the very first thing, and I told someone coming on this morning, if you want to have less pain for a bit, it's not going to last the whole day, especially if you have significant issues with your back. But think about how you've been sleeping all night. Okay, now I'm going to come out of that move. See how I just softened my knee and I came out of that move? Yeah. Take a big breath. Keep one foot in the middle of your pad. Take one foot behind. Okay? And I can do all of this hanging onto my chair or onto a wall. Lots can be accomplished by wall work, especially if you've got a foot that's working hard on a pad like this, barefooted. Okay? So here's the deal. Put your foot back up. Take the other one back. But take your hands. Okay, this is kind of important. Put them right here where your hip bones are. See that? See that? See that? See, I got my hands there? Yeah. Now I'm going to bend my knee and drop my center of gravity. Yeah. And I'm going to take the other foot, and I'm going to step back. Okay. I have my fingers right here. You know why? Because some of you step back and you know what you do? You open your hip out. You rotate out. So if you're doing that, you totally won't work this whole back extensor stuff that we're trying to address today. Okay? Because when you walk around all day, you're constantly in flexion. See, I'm in flexion. I'm in flexion. I'm leaning. and I'm in flexion walking. Now I'm asking you to do some extending of these structures, and it makes you really contract all of these in the back. Okay. So again, here's my chair. Tight tummy now. All right. Shift. Put your foot back here. But notice if you're rolling your hip out. Okay. Now, once I step back here, I'm going to go ahead and lift with that hamstring with a straight leg. And I'm going to do 3 lifts with a straight leg, no bending. That makes me put pressure where? In this whole side, right? So put your hands here gently and put your foot down here and lift. See? My foot is in dorsiflexion. I'm leading with my heel. 3 times. At the 3rd time, then I want you to arc and bend that heel like you're going to hit your hip, but you're not, of course. But you're going to bend it like that. Now put it right back down and then go right down and go tap, lift, tap. Do not roll. Do not roll your hip here. One more. Right there. Okay. Roll. And now you pull that heel to the hip. And you go heel to the hip. And you go heel to the hip. Do one more, heel to the hip. And then come back down. Okay. So don't do tons to build up too much tension on the other side. So we're really focusing on the extensors in the back extensors all down through here. Okay, take a big breath, hamstring, gluteal. Okay, shift, yeah, tight tummy, yes. You can put your hands here if you want to. You don't have to. Put your foot down on the floor. Okie dokie, are you ready? Shoulders are down. And I'm going to lift from my hip. See, I'm lifting that other leg from my hip. This leg is taking all the pressure. And here's the deal. I keep wanting to lean, see, because it's easier. This is my weaker side. So I'm going to use my hands here gently, and I'm going to keep lifting from squeezing the gluteal, but I'm going to fight the tendency to roll, okay? So I'm going to lift with that heel leading, 3, 4, 5 times. Hold it there, like between 4 to 6. And then I'm going to arc and bring that heel in, okay? So anybody that has a significant hamstring issue, you know who you are. This is going to be challenging, and you may not be able to come very far. But I'm going to encourage you, try to do just a tiny bit of a heel pull in to the hip, a tiny bit. You may not be able to go very far, but if you can come just a little bit to innervate, that's a good thing. One more. Okay, bring it back down. Ha ha ha. You love that, didn't you? Okay, here's my chair. See? So to come out of that, what am I going to do? I'm going to bring my toe right here to the back of the chair. See that? And I'm going to just push my hip back just a little bit. But I'm not rounding my back. Then I'm going to come out of that. So this is a little inner set. And this is a real exercise in mobility for you. Because see, the minute that many of you put your foot up here on the back of the chair, A, you lock your knee. And B, when I ask you to come forward, you know what you do? Yes, you round your back. So I'm going to bend forward to, in fact, stretch in just gently that hamstring that I just contracted pretty hard, okay? And as I lean in, see, I'm pushing down on the chair. I'm not pulling back on it, okay? And then I come up, all right? And then you put your foot down. How you doing? Feeling pretty good? Okie dokie. So bring this chair around. And here's my little pad. I can use it or not again, but now we're going to address the chair. Okay? Now I just practiced a little bit with you, didn't I? Putting that foot up. Now, anytime you are going to put your foot up on a chair like this, my preference would be for you to do it where you can put your hand on a wall, a table, a desk, anything for a point of contact. Because when you bring your foot up like this, that's pretty high. If you get stuck up there and you're losing your balance, you have nowhere to go, right? I'll tell you what would even work really, really well here. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be a pebble. So if you're looking around and you're going, oh, geez, if I move my station here, then I can't see what's going on. Then grab yourself a pole. And this is, let me make the case for walking with poles. Let me tell you, if you are trying to fight osteoporosis, get yourself some walking poles. Okie dokie. I've already told you about, the weight loading, and some of you maybe can't handle a weight vest. You can get yourself some walking poles. This is not a walking pole. However, they can be used so well in so many ways. So see, I'm going to come up like this. See that? And I'm going to come down. Now you can keep it here the whole time, or you can switch it. Super easy. Don't use it so hard that your hand turns blue. Don't grip it so hard that, you know, you're just pressing way too hard on it. This is for a balance equalizing. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put a couple of fingers on there. I'm going to tighten in my tummy, drop my shoulders, bend my knee, and I'm going to bring that foot up. See there? Take a big deep breath, bring it back down. I'm going to go to the other one, bring it back down. Okay? What I'm trying to get you to do, and I prepped you before I did this, right? We did a whole lot of stuff with these back muscles that are responsible partly. It's not just this. These have to give and go. You've got to have good mobility here, right? So keep pressing on that. Keep pressing on that pole gently. Bring it here, okay? And I'm doing this a couple of times before I go to the next move, which I'm trying to work up to. Keep pushing on that, all right? My tummy's in, my shoulders are down, and I'm going to bring this leg up and put that toe down. See that? Here's the thing. If you get very good at doing this motion in control and you don't lose your balance doing it, man, you know you're improving your balance, okay? Number one, because you're getting stronger in muscles that need to be stronger, okay? And you've got a chair. Just use a simple chair. Okay, we've done this a couple times. Now, are you ready? We're going to bring it up. See how I brought it up and I put my foot down? Okay, bend the knee. Okay, tighten your tummy. Bring that knee up and act like you're going to touch the chair. See? I'm going to go up and then I'm going to act like I'm going to touch the chair, but I come back in and down. The supporting knee is definitely soft. It's not super bent, but it's soft. Okay, tighten your tummy. Now reach, 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 reach. Come back in and put it right on the chair. Here we go. Tight tummy, shoulders down, breath, lift, reach, breath, breath, breath. Bring it in. Put it on the chair again. Tight tummy, drop your shoulders. You're using your pole. Bring it up. The knee is soft. Reach. Come back in and put it down. One more. We can do one more. Here we go. Up. Reach. In. Tap. Bring it down. Bring that pole right here. Don't forget, this was the leg that this is the leg I lifted. And just walk out, just like this. See? Go tap. Go tap. Go tap. Go tap. This is just a little intercept. So what I've worked you into is a move that has been very researched, and people that can go up past that 90-degree bend in their hip fall so many times less. They're much stronger, much more stable. So it's a big move, but you don't just start doing it. Look at all the stuff we did before that, right? Okay, now that's good. I'm feeling pretty good because you're going to be loading a lot, okay? Use a wall or a pole, all right? So here I go. Take a breath, drop in my chin, drop my shoulders. Here's my target. I'm going to shift into this leg. I do not want to excessively lean, which is what I typically do, because this is my hip replace side. So you got to know that if you have joints replaced, you just don't work the same, and you just like to cheat a lot. And I know this from a personal experience. Okay, you ready? Take a breath, drop your shoulders, okay? And I'm going to bring that leg up, put it on the chair, right? So now, don't lock this leg. That's what we all want to do. Don't lock it. So when you bend it, push your butt back just a little bit. You know what happens when you push your butt back? You extend your back nicely. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm going to bring my knee up, and I'm going to try. There, that was a good example. I overbalanced, and I had my stick. It works perfect. But I knew I was going to have trouble with this side because I'm weaker on this side. And it's my holding side. So let's keep going. So get all set up. You know what that means. When I say get all set up, drop your shoulders, drop your chin, get your foot up here, bend your knee, push down or hold the wall. You're going to bring the knee up, and you're going to act like you're going to touch the back of the chair, but you're going to come back in and put it down. Okay? Are you ready? Take a breath. I have to really concentrate on this side. It's so much easier for me to do the other side. And I know you have a side. I know it. Okay, ready? Breath. Here we go. Bring it back in. Put it down. Here we go. Tight tummy. Drop your shoulders. Breath. Reach. Bring it in. Put it down. Take a breath. Push down on your pole a little. Here we go. Lift. Reach. Bring it in. Down. Take a breath. Lift. Reach. Bring it in and down. One more. Here we go. Take a breath. Lift the knee. Reach. Bring it in and down. And then put that leg down. And you should feel some deep contractions that comes all the way around. I'm telling you, this is a great move to work to, and it looks so deceiving. It looks like we're doing not much, but you are doing a lot. Okay? So, but I hope you realize how much stuff I did before I went to this, right? It was all leading up to it. Now I have my little pole, so this is a good thing. So I'm going to come right down here, and now I'm going to go a little lower to work on my thoracic and my cervical spine, as well as the back part of my shoulders, as well as the back part of my legs. And I'm doing this all standing. Yeah, we could do a whole host of things laying down, but I'm trying to be very functional today, and that's why I'm staying in a standing position mostly. I'm going to get down the very last part of the class. Here's my pole. So I'm not emphasizing weights today so much, but I'm bent a lot more than if I put my hands on the chair. Do you see that? So this is the modification move right here. Pushing your butt back and putting your hands on a higher bench or a higher chair. Now I'm going to go on down. I'm going to encourage you to go down a little more. I'm going to put one hand here. I'm going to rotate the bar with my little wing muscles. See that? I'm going to reach out. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to come back in like this. Okay? So I'm going to lift. Let me emphasize, when I'm in this position, I'm setting into a lot of my whole foot, but I'll push into the heels. I'll drop my chin. Okay? When you see the bar coming up, the muscle action has to start in the shoulder. Okay? And then it goes out. Then it comes in. And then you release the shoulder to bring it down. The dogs are saying hello. So here we go. Shoulder blade comes in. I reach out, I come back in, I come back down. So I go into a little chicken wing, then I bring it up, stretch it out, then I come in, then I release the shoulder and let it down. So I'm going to do 3 more of these. Ready? So I'm down here in this down position. I'm in parallel position to the floor. But if this was too much for me, what would I do? Yeah, I would put my hands on the upper part of the chair. Okay? So if you start doing this and you're not thinking, you're going to do the whole thing with just this part of your muscle. You're not going to innervate the back muscles in the shoulder. So think about it. So you're in a wing. You're going to rotate by pulling your shoulder blade in. Then you reach. Then you come down, and then you come down. Got it? Now I'm going to turn the bar, and I'm just going to do a little pendulum back and forth with my bar. So don't really contract, but don't drop your shoulder either. Don't go way down like this. Your shoulders should be just about in symmetry, okay? So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Mac is very bored with the whole situation. Okay, go into your heels. Stand up, okay? Because you're going to be down there. And I'm telling you, this motion and this position, wow, does it put a whammy on you right through here, okay? So you take a break. So here's the break. We stand up. We bring this up, bring it to our head, just like this. Do a little turn. See this? I'm going to do a little turn. I actually turn my feet. See? So I'm going to just turn. And I'm just going to turn. My elbows are down. Elbows are down. I'm just going to turn. And I'm just going to turn. Keep my chin tucked. See that? This is a great time to do diaphragmatic breathing. So that means your belly goes out and in as you inhale, exhale. See? Turn, 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 turn. Okay. Now I'm going to come down. I'm on both feet here. I'm going to go to the other arm. All right. I'm going to turn it sideways so you kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay. So here I am. I'm going to push through the heels. I'm going to put my hand here. Okay. I'm going to come right in here. Keep my chin tucked. My shoulder blades, my shoulders are symmetric in a line. And I'm going to rotate my shoulder by doing what? How am I going to rotate? How am I going to go from here to here? Okay? I'm going to turn around so you can see me. So how am I going to go from here to here? Some of you don't realize it, but you're only using this part of your muscle. Okay? I want you to use back here. So in order to go from here to here, I'm going to start pulling my shoulder blade in. That's the move that I'm wanting you to get. Because in a lot of the research shown with the Sarah Meeks program, this part of you is very much too weak, okay? So what I'm trying to show you that you have to actually think about it and pull that shoulder blade in as you rotate and then do the extension. Then to release it, you release it all the way down, okay? So now I'm in my heels and my whole foot back and forth. So I'm going to go squeeze the shoulder blade, start the rotation, then I'm going to hang on to it, bring it out, bring it in, bring it down. Okay, my belly's nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to rotate. I'm going to go out, bring it in and down. I'm going to rotate. So in order to rotate, I'm going to say it again. If I were with you right now, my hand would be right back here. And when you do this move, I would want to feel the shoulder blade come into my back. Then you go out and in. Then you release and come down. Are you ready? Don't grip this so much. Some of you are gripping this and you're not thinking about pulling this way in like I want you to. So you're going to really rotate that shoulder blade into the back. You're out, you're in, you're down. Here we go. Release it. Now pull it in. Then it comes up. Then it goes out and down. And see, by standing in this position, the whole time that you're doing this, wow, are you working on your legs, your gluteal, your quads, your hamstrings, and your back. Okay, 2 more. Here we go. Shoulder blade in, reach, shoulder blade release. Ready? Keep your chin tucked. Shoulder blade rolls in, it reaches out, and it rolls down. Good. Now bring that arm like this and just let it pendulum back and forth. See? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Big breath. Big breath, big breath. Woo! Just like that. Okay? Then you come up here and you just turn. See? Turn. Now I'm not moving my feet. I want my knees soft. I want my chin tucked, my rib cage up. And now I'm turning around the column. See, I'm not leaning. In order to do this move, I'm not leaning. I'm turning right around that. Pretend that this pole is going right down through your vertebrae. And if you were turning around the pole, you would not be leaning way out, because then that would put you out of the column, correct? Yeah, learn to move in a transverse or turning motion without doing that leaning that a lot of times you want to do, okay? It tends to get us into trouble. All right, I'm going to keep going here. Keep your shoulders down. Keep your shoulders down. Breath, tight tummy. Breath, tight tummy. Go, go, go. Yay. Now, I'm going to start going toward our last couple moves. I'm going to use our pad again, because when you're barefooted, that is the best time to get your feet on this pad, okay? Best time. Okay, these are going to be subtle little moves, all right? So we're going to shift into our toes, and we're going to lift our heels, and we're going to try not to lose our balance, okay? So how do you do that? You lower your center of gravity by hip hinging, yes. Drop your shoulders, yes. Now, I'm going to shift into my toes. I'm going to lift my heels, and I'm going to try to maintain my position without falling off this thing, okay? But if I fall off, I'm not going to go very far, right? I just step down. That's okay. But understand, you can use this if you need to. I want you to understand the relationship from going and pulling your heels up to then coming back and pulling the balls of your feet off the ground. So we did a lot of work with hamstrings, okay? This is one of the ways that we're going to start stretching through that back part, okay? Here we go. Back, pull those toes up. Okay, now shift, and your heels come up, but you stay down here. See, I'm bent at my knee. Okay, use this if you need to or not. It's up to you. But when you go back and you pull those toes up, you are going to straighten your legs up a bit. okay? So you're really pushing your heels down. You're really pulling your toes up. And you hold there for, I don't know, 5 seconds, not minutes, 5 seconds. Okay, heels come up, heels come up, heels come up. Now rotate back into the heels, pull your toes up. You are going to straighten your legs. You are going to need this because you're going to get off balance, okay? This is a good one to do against the wall, by the way. It would be fine, okay? Take a big breath. Now hang on out here. Woo! And I'm going to just turn, and I'm going to just turn. See that? It's a very little motion. It's taking the knee across midline. See that? And I'm turning this way. And I'm on this balance medium, or this very non-compromising pillar, okay, or disc. This is great work. You've got to understand how important these little moves are to joint stability, okay? Drop your shoulders, and that's what the whole day was on today. I should call it Sweat the Small Stuff. You know that book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff? Well, these are smaller moves, but especially when it involves the back part of the shoulder, musculature, and joint action, and your spine. So we worked a lot on the extensors in the back, all the way down into our hamstring. Okay, see how I'm just going right across midline. Now, you could make this really, really hard, but I don't want people to fall out there. Do you hear me, Kay? See, I could do this and bring it up here and do that, but I'm not going to. We're just turning like this. I'm not even asking you to take your foot up. Okay? But there's always progressions, right? Always progressions. You did a good job today. My dogs are on the warpath, so I better take off the recording.